Hi all. I wanted to throw together a 2025 Morgana guide because I have been really succeeding with her recently. I have climbed to 400 plus LP in solo queue, primarily playing Morgana in the jungle, and I think she is really powerful right now, and I think I can help a lot of people out in learning to play her, mostly in jungle, but also in support. And this will just be a little information dump about like items, runes, matchups, clears, everything that you might need to know in order to pick her up, and just general Morgana knowledge. So if you want to improve at Morgana or learn Morgana Jungle, stick around. I would say Morgana is in the best spot she's been in a while. She has felt weak for a long time, and this year she has risen in power somehow. Despite her best item, Leandry's, being nerfed, she still feels very powerful, and I think it comes from build experimentation and also a little bit of meta shifting. So with the build variety right now, there have been a lot of cool builds both in support and in jungle. I think I've innovated a really strong build in jungle, and I've been trying out Needy Henry's build in support, and that has really felt good too. And I just think that she's found a great place in the meta. So definitely try her out, and in the jungle too. Getting right into it, let's talk about Morgana runes. I've found this new move speed Morgana page. I really like. This page takes advantage of Morgana's strengths with Cheap Shot and Dark Harvest, and also makes up for her weaknesses, which is mobility. And I think this page in the jungle is incredible and her best page by far. It really allows you to make good plays with your Flash and Nimbus Cloak, giving you speed, and also skirmish other junglers with water walking in the river. And I really like this. And so the gist of it is you have Dark Harvest, Cheap Shot as your damage, which Dark Harvest is your scaling, and Cheap Shot allows you to skirmish with people early because it does so much damage. Grizzly Mementos you take because it's just the best one in the middle row for junglers. It allows your trinkets to get more haste, which lets you sweep more, and that's fine. And in the bottom row, I actually opt to go for Relentless Hunter. A lot of Morganas I see in the domination tree tend to take Ultimate Hunter, or in the jungle, sometimes Treasure Hunter. I think Relentless Hunter is Morgana's best. It allows you to get around the map very quickly, especially with Blue Smite. You are doing camps and zooming around. If you get some kills on this, you're easily going to be in the high 400 move speeds when going out of bushes, and it's super nice. And what really ties this build together is Nimbus Cloak. Nimbus Cloak makes Morgana so powerful in the jungle. With your Blue Smite giving you speed in bushes, and your Flash and your Smite that you can use to escape from people, you really feel powerful. You don't always have to throw out those Qs. When I play Morgana jungle, a lot of times before I was trying this move speed page, I would just run a pretty standard jungle page with Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight, and I would find myself getting run down by junglers or losing to junglers because they just flash over my Q, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And that was one of her biggest weaknesses, was if you didn't hit your Q or they just use their ability to dodge it, you're dead. But when you go this page, you actually don't even need to throw your Q. When that Xin Zhao jumps on you, you just smite him and walk away. And yeah, maybe he gets the knock up and you have to smite after he knocks you up, but you're still going to be able to get away from him. You are surprisingly nimble with Nimbus Cloak, and it really helps out getting away from some champions. So I love this page. And again, with Blue Smite, and then in the build that I highly recommend, going Leandry's and then Rylai's, you feel like you are just nobody can catch you and nobody can run from you. It's really great. When I don't run this page, I really tend to go the standard jungle page, as I was saying, with Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight. And if I was doing this page, I'd probably run Treasure Hunter. I am a Treasure Hunter enjoyer, not a Ultimate Hunter enjoyer, because snowballing is good and getting early kills means you get gold, means you get Leandry's faster. This is good. In the jungle, I really don't recommend taking any other runes. This is pretty much the only direction you want to go. I've seen and experimented with Electrocute and going some burst builds with Rocket Belt and Shadow Flame in the blue tree. I think it's just okay. I really can't recommend going Precision or Resolve primary or Inspiration primary. I've seen people go Arcane Comet in the jungle. It's fine, but what you have to go a page like this, or maybe Absolute Focus, and it just doesn't feel that good. And then you're like stuck between going, you pretty much have to go Domination second to have some damage in your kit. I don't like this very much, so I always recommend going Dark Harvest in the jungle and choosing between sorcery with Nimbus Cloak and Water Walking, or inspiration with Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight. Now, if we're talking about support, support has a lot of build variety. And I think there are like 3 main trees you can go. I think the most common you see people go is a tree like this. This is Arcane Comet, Manifold Band, Transcendence, and Scorch. This gives you lane presence, which is Morgana's biggest weakness. Comet and Scorch rack up a lot of damage, and then you end up going Biscuits and Cosmic Insight. And Biscuits give you lane sustain, and Cosmic Insight allows you to use your summoner spells more. It's very, very nice. This is a super standard Morgana page and works extremely well in most situations. You can't go wrong with this. I really have been enjoying the buffs to Guardian recently, and so I have been a Guardian enjoyer, going a page like this or this, depending on how you want to be tanky. Do not take Revitalize on Morgana. It is bait. This page is really nice. It's super defensive. It allows you to peel better and shield your team, which is nice. And you could similarly go Inspiration, or you can go Sorcery for mana, or you can even go this page to get some damage. All of them are pretty good. And you'll see we always go Adaptive Force and Scaling Health here. So yeah, this page is really, really nice. It feels good to have Guardian in lane, especially the buffed Guardian. And finally, the rune page that I've been doing the most recently is this Glacial Augment page. And so you'll take Glacial Augment with cashback, which is surprisingly good on Morgana. Pretty much every time you buy a legendary, you just get enough gold to buy 2 pinks right away. You get like 300 gold back, or like 250 gold back depending, and this is really nice. Biscuits and Cosmic Insight are pretty intuitive. And secondarily, I am going mana. This is because Morgana support actually has mana issues. I don't have mana issues when I play Morgana in the jungle, so I never think about this. But as support, you actually have to think about a resource that you have, and so this pretty much makes you not think about mana. It's really, really nice. I could see also Resolve Tree secondary for this, potentially going like Bone Plating Overgrowth, or Font Overgrowth, or Font Bone Plating, something like that. But I think this is the best, and this page is super duper nice. We love Glacial Augment Morgana, and it just feels really, really good. This tree happens to synergize really well with a build that I already said this once, but the Needy Henry build, which rushes Imperial Mandate, because that works off slows, and Glacial Augment procs slows. So really cool. And this page is super good into any dive champions. It helps a lot against like the Nautiluses, Leonas, anyone diving into you, because you just press Q on them, and then the slow field hits their ADC and slows them down and reduces their damage. And so it makes it hard for people to follow up. And we love that, of course. I want to talk about Morgana's builds in 2025 and the strengths of Morgana through her build variety, both in jungle and in support, but I'm going to focus mostly on jungle and why I think it makes Morgana so good. And so you'll see here that I have my Morgana standard best item build up. This is what I'm building in like 75% of my games most of the time. I think this is the go-to build. I have tested a lot in the practice tool, what different damage thresholds are and how much damage you're doing to different magic resist targets and different health targets, and have determined that in most cases Leandris is going to be your go-to rush item, unless you're planning ahead to do some crazy build or you get fed really, really quickly. You could always adapt, but this is what I'm recommending. I think as Morgana with my move speed rune page, which is her best rune page, you should always go Blue Smite. I don't think Blue Smite, any other smite, should ever be taken on Morgana. I think you should look to get a Faded Ashes after full clearing your jungle and getting a Scuttle, which I think you should always be able to do. And then after that, you could always look to get a Dark Seal, boots, the components to Leandris, and get that as quickly as possible. And following up Leandris, I think you should always go Rylai's. I think Leandris into Rylai's is a fantastic core on Morgana Jungle. It gives you a good amount of AP, and most importantly, it makes you tanky. I think being tanky in the jungle is awesome, and having that slow is awesome. Most importantly, the slow as well. It's both things, but it is so strong. This 2-item spike will make you feel like you could still skirmish people. It'll make you really powerful, but also able to support your team really well, because the truth of Morgana Jungle is that you are never going to be a primary damage dealer unless, you know, you do a different build and it's available. But most of the time, you're not going to be a primary damage dealer. You're going to be able to skirmish people and 1v1 them, but you're never going to be that person in a team fight getting a pentakill because you just wiped them. You're going to be putting down a lot of utility. You are a utility mage, and Rylai's gives you utility. And so when you're dropping down your W in a team fight with Rylai's and Liandry's, you are doing a good amount of damage. It's not negligible, but you are slowing them and making it really hard to fight, especially with your Qs and your ult on top of it. That is another benefit of Rylai's, is that it allows you to full charge your ult. When I'm playing this game, almost always when I start a fight or a skirmish with somebody, I'm pressing R first. It's so rare that I'm going to try to catch them with a Q. If you do, it's great, but you better not be in vision because they're sidestepping it. You press R first, and if you don't have enough HP to survive, they're going to kill you. But you press R, you black shield yourself, you run around for a little bit, and as soon as it's about to proc, you put your W down, you walk away, you Q them, they're dead. Feels really good. Rylai's enables this, and the health from the entries really helps. For your third item, this is where the build can start going different paths, and so I've listed a bunch of different items here. I think that a good magic pen choice for Morgana is this Bloodletter's Curse. I think this item is good because it gives you HP, ability haste, and AP, which is good, and it also reduces magic resist, and you proc it pretty well with Liandry's and your W and your Q and your ult. You do a pretty good job of maximizing this. I would recommend going this if you have an AP mid laner, or maybe even like a Kaisa or a Yunara, and you just feel like Magic Pen would really help, especially if you're strong and the enemy's stacking MR. That's great. I think Zanya's is a fine third choice. I am notoriously a Zanya's hater, but there are situations that are good. I believe Zanya's is not a core item on Morgana. I think Zanya's is good in the situations that Zanya's is good on any mage. When you're against the Talons, the Rengars, the Jarvan Vi's of the world, you need to press Zanya's, then it's good. Don't buy this because you're just braying off buying in a Morgana. It's not that good on her. It's just as good as it is on any other mage. Horizon Focus is an alternative third item that is a utility item for ability haste and vision. The AP is really nice, but if you really want to do damage, you should go Shadow Flame third. But Horizon Focus is a good mid ground. You'll be able to press your buttons more quickly, which is nice, especially with the Rylai's on your W, being able to spam it a little bit more, and throwing out more Qs, of course, helps. I think it's okay. The vision is fine. It helps in some skirmishes, and yeah, it's a good item. My favorite item to build third is Shadow Flame. I love this item. I love doing damage. I love killing people. And yeah, Shadow Flame is going to be your best third item. Power Spike if you want to do the most damage possible. And obviously Death Cap is in there too. And between these, you can get a nice build like Liandry's, Rylai's, Shadow Flame, Bloodletter's Curse. Death Cap is a fine build. Substitute in Zanya's for Shadow Flame or Death Cap. It doesn't matter. It's good. This is what you want to be building on Morgana most games. In different games, when you feel like it's going to be a late game scaling fest and you are the primary magic damage dealer, this would be a game where you have like an ADC mid, a Mundo top, the scaling Enchantress bottom, and you want to stall the game out as much as possible. They might have a tank, they might have some bruiser who you're just not going to be able to kill. This is the maximum damage you could build. I did test this, and this is her most AP possible, and the reason it ends up being good and why you go Blackfire over Liandry's is because the scaling 4% AP ends up combining with the AP you get from Rabadon's and Shadow Flame to really like up your numbers a ton. You end up with like, when this 3-item spike, if you're getting like a 3-person alt or W or 4-person, you're going to have like 700 AP. It's going to feel really, really good, and you are going to melt these people and you will do damage. This is really the only way to do like late game damage on Morgana against tanks and bruisers and things like that, because you'll just never be able to kill them otherwise. So you can try this out if you want to be the super scaling AP mage. I like this build. I don't do it too often, but it does come around. And finally, my favorite build, when you are against all squishies, you get to do the burst build. And I did learn this from looking up the best Morganas in the world. And apparently in Korea, the highest elo Morgana players are not jungle. They're not support. They are mid lane mains. And when they play mid lane, they do one build. And that build is Electrocute with Rocket Belt Rush into Shadow Flame into Storm Surge. This build is crazy. When you go this build in the jungle, it's awkward. It doesn't always work, but if you get an early kill, you're backing with like 1450 gold, you buy the Hextech alternator component and a dark seal, and you run out on the map, you are killing anyone you come across. This is a really funny build. Rocket belting towards somebody and then ulting them catches them off guard, and most of the time they're not going to be able to get out even with their flash, because you rocket belt, ult, slow them, and all of a sudden you're on top of them. They flash, they're still in range, and you're just going to kill them. I love this build. I think it's fantastic. You could run it with Dark Harvest as well, but Electrocute is the point of it because you have a lot of upfront damage and it's consistent. You can run this build if you're up against any squishy jungle and squishy mid and bot lane, and if they only have like a tank top and everyone else is just an assassin, assassinate them right back. You could throw Zanyas in here for your defensive item. I really like this build. You got to try it out. And these are the three main builds I would go on Morgana Jungle, and I highly recommend doing this build most games. Liandry's into Rylai's. You could also go Liandry's into Shadowflame. I should honestly move this here because this is the third best item on Morgana. It's Liandry's, Rylai's, and then Shadowflame, and that is just the core you want. Faded Ashes early, Dark Seal when you can. You always want to buy this on Jungle if you can. It's great. And yeah, and going down, we have a little bit of a support overview as well. When I play Morgana support, I tend to like to not build AP. I build Morgana support as a tank. And this is the build I like to do. It's a very old school Morgana build. You go lock it into Redemption. This gives you shielding and healing and peel, and you play this with the Glacial Augment. And obviously you're able to really keep your ADC alive. You're like a mini Lulu, a different Lulu. You're a CC Lulu. It's kind of fun. It's good against assassins. It helps your ADC stay alive if you have a hyper carry. It's good. And I do want to give a shout out, of course, to the Needy Henry build. Let me type that in, actually. Needy Henry build. All right, this build is pretty awesome. I'm not 100% sure on the Zazek's Realm spec. I don't know what you do your support item into, but somebody told me about this on stream. I went over the runes earlier with Glacial Augment, but essentially you're running Imperial Mandate in order to maximize the damage from Glacial Augment. And it's really powerful. I've seen the damage numbers. You're easily doing like 600 damage, 800 damage in a team fight early on, which is huge. And they rush Horizon Focus after, and they do it for the ability haste and the utility of the vision. I think this is a good item, but I am a die-hard Rylai's fan, so I do deviate from the build. Personally, I go Imperial Mandate, which I think is genius, into the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, because I just think this item is OP on Morgana, and it's hidden OP, her best item. And if you just build it with Imperial Mandate, you're always proccing it, even with your W. And so it's just fantastic. You don't even need to hit the Q anymore. But yeah, definitely love this. Try this build out. So now we've gone over runes, we've gone over builds, and my feel on Morgana. I want to talk about matchups. This is my tier list I just made on matchups and how I feel about matchups in general. So you can see I split it into 4 tiers: the good luck tier, the rough matchup, the tough matchup, the okay matchups that are like skill matchups, and then the free matchups. So the pretty consistent theme about the tiers is the good luck matchups are matchups against hyper aggressive junglers or junglers that just ignore your CC, which is your whole kit. And so you have Belveth and Nidalee and Zed, who are champions who are extremely fast clearers, aggressive junglers, and they can avoid your CC easily. And then you have Dr. Mundo, Olaf, and Udyr, even though I don't really see Olaf ever, who are champions who can just immune your CC and make your life miserable by just running at you. Udyr has a special place in my heart as the hardest Morgana matchup. This champion will full clear his jungle and walk into your jungle, and he will never have to leave your jungle again. He can sit in your jungle, run from your side of the jungle to the other side of the jungle, and just do your camps on cooldown, and you can never do anything. The goal against Udyr is find out where he's invading and go invade him. It's really hard, by the way. But these matchups are super tough. The easy matchups all have the same theme of they are one-note champions that tend to be really predictable and easy to react to with your Black Shield and counter their kit in terms of like Brand or Poppy or Maokai, or they're champions who just run at you in a straight line and they can't really do anything else, which are like the tanks and Poppy. Zyra can sometimes be hard, but she's just a power farmer. These champions you really shouldn't struggle with if you're playing Morgana, and you should pick Morgana with ease into these champions. You will do really, really well. Vi can be tough, but for the most part, Vi is really going to struggle with your Black Shield because she can't ult, and the biggest boon of Vi is being able to ult a carry and take them out of the fight, similar to like how Nautilus works. It's like a go button, and you can invalidate that. So I consider it a good matchup. In the tough matchups, we have champions who are kind of aggressive or fast farmers, or champions like Kha'Zix and Talon who build spell shield, or Nocturne who also has a spell shield, or like the Elise Rek'Sais who are kind of aggressive, or champions who do a lot of magic damage and so they can break your spell shield, or champions who can get out of your CC by buffering it, like Jarvan and Foley Bear and Viego. These champions are really annoying. You have to play around them. You have to anticipate what they're going to do. You have to time your abilities well. When you're against Diana, for example, you cannot Black Shield as she's going in on you. You have to wait until after she goes in on you. When you're against Elise, you need to be aware of her invades, and you need to hold your Q and not hit her spiders, which is really annoying. When you're against Echo, you need to account for the fact that the second part of his E is a teleport, and you cannot Q him during that because he teleports over your Q, and I have died many a time to that. When you're against Master Yi, he has damage reduction, so he could just stand on top of your W and literally heal. It's tough matchups, but you can outplay these champions. Good warding can take care of them. You can snowball and get a lead. You do have your advantages, but you need to play smartly. All of these champions have something in their kit that will make her that are strong against Morgana. In the okay matchups, you have matchups where Morgana, I don't think, struggles at all, and it tends to be a skill matchup. A lot of these champions don't have dashes, don't have CC immunes, or just get in your face and don't one-shot you, so you could ult them and walk away, or you could just put your E on your ADC and watch the team fight be over. These champions you could also farm against. You get objectives faster than them. Evelyn and Darius are examples of champions who, like, they're gonna walk at you. It's pretty predictable. Same with Hecarim, although he does it a little faster, and Lilia, Xin Zhao, all these champions are just walking in a straight line at you, and you can't really miss, or you could just walk away and you could just never press Q and they won't get on you. And then there are champions who like can't farm, like Kiana, or champions who just have one thing in their kit, like Fiddlesticks and Nico, or Ivern, and you just press your spell shield and walk away and you're like, see ya. And that feels good. So it takes a while to learn a lot of these matchups and like the intricacies of them. Specifically the tough matchups, like when you're playing Morgana into Jarvan, you need to know that he can use all of his abilities in your abilities, because your abilities are roots and it does not stop them from casting, so he can EQ while you Q him. And yeah, sometimes you have to anticipate that. Or against the spell shield champions, you need to learn to smite their spell shield off before they go on you, or you have to have proto belt or something. And really, I think a lot of skill expression comes from dealing with these tougher matchups, because the easy matchups, you just play them like normal. You turn your brain off, you full clear the jungle once, you gank. If you can gank, you get objectives. You know, you just standard gameplay. It's only against these tougher champions that you really need to start locking in. And I like have a game against Bel'Veth, for example, recently, where like, you know, I'm thinking to myself, she's going to invade my Raptors. I roared my Raptors at level 1, and I'm standing defending the blue side, and I see her invade, and I just go invade her at level 1. And I like, you know, you have to play really aggressively into these champions because they're going to take advantage of you. And she tried to go Raptors to Raptors, but I already finished her Raptors. And then like, you know, essentially like she's following me, trying to invade me. And wherever she went, she's like, okay, well, I'm here. And I'm like, I'm here. And sit like same like way. I'm just like, no matter where she is, I'm crossing the map, and I'm warding my jungle defensively. She invades my blue, I go to her blue. She invades my red, I go to her red. And I'm like anticipating these movements and like preemptively invading, and it works really, really well when you are aggressive against these champions. But those matchups are hard. Try to avoid them. Don't pick Morgana if you see those champs. But yeah, I think this is my tier list. And finally, I want to show you a clear that I do on Morgana that you should learn if you're playing Morgana Jungle. So as Morgana, there are two main clears I want you to do. Right now it's far path to bottom meta, so always start top side. And what you're going to want to do for the blue side clear is start your blue buff like this. And if you ward out and you know where the enemy is, you could smite early. This is huge. Your W does bonus damage based on the jungle camp's missing health, and so you can kill this in 3 W's, which is it'll speed up your jungle a lot. It's super helpful. You could just start walking over to your Gromp, and it'll walk onto its own grave like that. And you can clear your jungle much faster. If you do this, only smite early if you know where the enemy jungle is. This is a tactic that junglers like Echo and Zed do as well, so it works on Morgana if you know those champs. And you're just going to want the camps to sit on your W as much as possible as you kite between camps, and make sure you're always kiting to the next camp. It's a big thing to help reduce your jungle time. So you just do the Gromp in the blue like I showed you, and you'll be going onto the wolves here, making sure to always attack and get your Q on the big one if you can. And here you just want to have it auto you one time on the edge, and then you'll be able to kite it like this in between, and you go 2 points W, never put a point in E at level 3 on Morgana Jungle. And here is where you're going to do 2 camps at once again. You're going to throw your Q at red early, and you're going to kill this Raptor and see red buff rear its ugly head. And now you get to do red buff over here, which is really nice because if someone's in this bush, it's going to be harder for them to get to it. And you're going to kite it towards this camp. Of course, somebody could be in there. I do recommend checking it, but it's fine. And here you just auto, and you could walk away, I think maybe 1 auto, and get over to this camp. And you start this up. We have 1 smite still left for Scuttle, and this camp will reset your W very quickly because both of them count as monsters for Morgana's W. But you just do this like so, and you see we have a full clear. Heading into Tribush at 320, we're able to get to Scuttle super duper easily. I like this clear a lot. It lets you get here early, it lets you counter potentially if you're over here, and definitely practice this and get used to the clear starting on your blue buff clear. It is the fastest clear Morgana has. And now I'll show you the clear if you were to start Raptors. So right now we're in the gank bottom and dragon meta. So if you're on the blue team, you want to start blue buff and full clear your top side, and then head to bottom and do the clear I just showed you. And if you're on red team, you want to do your Raptors, full clear your top side, and then head bottom like the clear I'm about to show you. So take this and just apply it to red side. You'll stand at your Raptors cap, and you're going to press W and hit the big one. Don't worry about the little ones. They will all die to your burn. Hit the big one. Don't worry about kiting if you don't want to. W and just hit this, and you're gonna have to worry about kiting between your camps here. So you get it below 200, you start walking between your camps, hit it when it gets low, and be confident it'll die. I promise you it will with practice. Smite this early. You want to smite this and not your red buff, and then your second W down, only start hitting the little one, and they'll both die. Your W should do damage to most of the small ones, not all of them. It's okay. Then we'll do our red buff after. Just throw the Q max range. Get used to that max range on Morgana W. It'll help you a lot in fights when you start learning that, and you could practice in the jungle. You just keep auto attacking and Wing. You can kite around a little bit like I'm showing you, so you make it walk a little bit. It'll let you heal more, and you just keep hitting this. Throw your Q, walk away. You know it's dead. You're going to level up your W again at level 3. You don't need to worry about your E in the jungle at this stage in the game. Just keep clearing. Go to your wolves like this. Q the big one. Make sure you hit the big one. It makes a difference. And keep autoing it. Try to never auto the little ones. It'll make your clear speed worse, and you'll notice it. And from this point, you could just walk away and just hit it there as you walk towards your Gromp. And with the Gromp, you'll notice on the red side you are actually a little bit low on mana. And so with this one, I recommend skipping your second Q. You won't have mana to really hit the blue buff if you do use your Q, and so this way you can use the Q on the blue buff, and you still have mana to cast all your Ws, which is your primary damage spell against these buffs. So make sure you don't Q that one. And here you see I have a good amount of mana, and we're able to clear this, and the clear speed is a little bit slower than the blue start clear, but that's okay because it's a farm efficient clear. And the good thing about this clear is you'll do the Scuttle Crab, and you'll be able to farm a whole half of your jungle after. So watch. You know, here, let's say I look for a mid gank, I walk through, like, oh, I throw my Q, whatever, it doesn't work. Okay, I leave. Fine. Doesn't work. I walk back, and now I just go straight to my Raptors. So you waste barely any time, you walk to your Raptors, and they're already going to respawn. So this is the fast 5 clear. You could just come stand here, S key, get a double scuttle maybe, but you could be safe without double scuttling and just get every single camp in your jungle. And it's the same exact thing here. Auto it, and it's probably going to die there. You got to learn when to walk away from the camps. It'll increase your speed a good amount. And then you just throw your W down here and do the same thing we did before. You have a smite again. And just like that, you have full cleared your jungle twice at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You are level 5, you put 3 points in your W. And the best part is you go back and you have the perfect buy for jungle Morgana of Boots, Sweeper, and Faded Ashes. And just like that, you've learned the most efficient farm clear for Morgana, the 1200 gold clear. This is your max power at 4 minutes 30 seconds. You run back out to your wolves, Gromp, you gank top or gank mid, or if you're on red side, you gank mid, you gank bot. Very, very powerful clear. I definitely recommend learning this. This camp will be spawning soon. It's a really powerful clear, and definitely practice both of these. You should be able to do both of them easily before 3 minutes 30 seconds with one smite. You should definitely practice doing them with just one smite before 3 minutes 30 seconds. If you can do this on Morgana Jungle, I promise you could learn to climb to diamond just by farming. I swear there are so many games I play with my friends in normals or whatever where I'll full clear my jungle, I'll get to Scuttle Crab, I'll get the crab, I'll get a gank off, and I'll see the enemy jungler like just finishing their clear, and I've already gotten a gank and a Scuttle Crab. It really makes a difference being able to gank really or clear your jungle quickly and well, so I definitely recommend just going through and doing a very basic practice on it. And that's it for the clear. So anyway, I hope this was all helpful information. If you have any questions or want me to cover a different champion in the same type of way, let me know. If you want to catch my stream, I'm always playing Morgana live on stream every weekday at noon Central Time. And you can see my very purple profile here. Yes, we have the Morgana background, the Morgana icon, the Morgana banner, the Masters banner. We are at 431 LP right now. We have Soraka, who is very purple, and the honor level 5 should be purple, so that's not my fault. But thank you very much. If you like what you see, you could always subscribe and like the video, and I will catch you next time. Mwah.